Top 10 turnoffs for men in dating. Avoid these mistakes. There are several behaviors that can be quite off-putting to women, and here are 10 of them, presented without any specific ranking. First on the list is having a negative attitude. If you often adopt a victim mentality, it can be a significant deterrent. This mindset suggests to a woman that you struggle to cope with life's challenges. If you find it difficult to manage your own life, how can she trust you to navigate the ups and downs of a relationship? Life is inherently unpredictable, and your response to its challenges speaks volumes about your character. Therefore, the first major turnoff is a negative, victim-like attitude. Next, we have the inability to handle challenges, which is another critical issue. If you consistently agree with her instead of confidently expressing your own views, she may begin to lose respect for you. It's essential to stand your ground respectfully, otherwise, if you simply walk away from disagreements, she might perceive you as weak and incapable of managing a relationship. Women often seek partners who can handle various situations with strength and confidence. The third point revolves around body language that conveys insecurity. In fact, a woman may be turned off by your demeanor even before you have a chance to interact. So, what does insecure body language entail? It often manifests as poor posture, which can stem from habits like excessive gaming or spending too much time in front of a computer. Such body language can also indicate low self-esteem, insecurity, or even mental health struggles, none of which are appealing traits. To improve your body language, focus on standing tall, keeping your shoulders back, raising your chin, and walking with intention. These small adjustments can significantly enhance your presence and attractiveness. When it comes to boosting your alpha-confident body language, you don't need to rush. Just take long, confident strides. This is tip number 1. Moving on to tip number 4, let's talk about boasting or bragging. Women are incredibly perceptive and can pick up on subtle cues that men might miss. Therefore, if you want to subtly boast, you need to do it in a way that doesn't seem like boasting at all. For example, if you're proud of your job or your accomplishments, you can share this in a conversation without directly saying it to impress her. The key is to make it sound natural and organic. Imagine you're discussing her job. You could say something like, "I've been at my job for a long time, and I really enjoy it. They appreciate me, and I've received some great bonuses." If you're self-employed, you could mention how you appreciate the freedom and potential for unlimited income. The trick is to relate your accomplishments to the conversation in a way that feels genuine. If you have something you're proud of but aren't sure how to bring it up, feel free to share in the comments below, and I'll help you figure out the best way to incorporate it into your conversation. Remember, it's all about making it seem effortless and natural. Coming in at number 5, we encounter a behavior that shares some similarities with the second point on our list, consistently failing tests by always agreeing. However, this particular issue stands on its own because it revolves around the idea of constantly agreeing with her no matter what. This can be a major turnoff for many women. You see, women generally want to feel like the man they're with has his own opinions and perspectives. It's not about being right all the time. Rather, it's about knowing that you have thoughts and ideas that she can rely on when things get tough. If you're always nodding along in agreement, she might start to doubt whether you can truly support her when she's unsure about something important or when you're facing challenges as a team. Women often look for partners who are confident in their values, beliefs, and solutions because it shows that they bring something substantial to the relationship. When you lack confidence in your opinions, it can make you appear weak or indecisive. So, how do you address this? The key is to identify areas where you genuinely disagree and then engage in thoughtful discussions about those differences. These conversations don't need to escalate into arguments, far from it. Instead, focus on creating healthy debates where both of you explore the pros and cons of various viewpoints, philosophies, or approaches to life. By doing so, you'll demonstrate that you're someone who thinks critically and isn't afraid to express yourself. This level of authenticity will likely impress her far more than simply agreeing with everything she says. Moving on to number 6, we come to the topic of having an inauthentic personality. Now, this ties back into the habit of always agreeing with her but takes it a step further. If you find yourself pretending to be someone you're not, perhaps trying to mold yourself into the person you think she wants, you'll eventually end up feeling trapped. Why? Because maintaining that facade requires constant effort, and it's exhausting. More importantly, women tend to be incredibly intuitive. They pick up on subtle cues that reveal when someone isn't being genuine. Even if they can't put their finger on it immediately, there will likely be an underlying sense that something feels off. Over time, this disconnect between who you really are and who you're pretending to be can lead to tension in the relationship. On the flip side, embracing your true self not only makes you happier but also allows her to connect with the real you. Being authentic means pursuing the activities and interests that genuinely excite you without apology. For instance, if gaming is your thing, go ahead and embrace it fully. Authenticity fosters trust and strengthens relationships because it creates a foundation built on honesty and mutual respect. Embrace your true self, whether that means being a passionate gamer, an enthusiastic athlete, or someone who loves other hobbies that light you up. If you're naturally competitive or physically active, that's amazing, own it. Don't try to hide or minimize your interests just to fit someone else's expectations. While it's normal to find some shared ground with others, the most important thing is that you feel comfortable being yourself. If you can't connect on a deeper level, it might mean the person isn't the right fit for you. Recognizing this early on saves time and energy in the long run. Stay authentic, your personality and passions are what make you unique, so don't sacrifice them for others. That's the 6th point. Now, moving on to the 7th, developing your own perspective. It's essential to form opinions on a wide range of topics. A great way to practice is in casual settings, like conversations with friends or coworkers. Instead of just nodding along or staying silent, take a moment to reflect on what's being discussed. Ask yourself what you genuinely agree or disagree with. The more you practice expressing your thoughts, especially when you don't align with others, the more confident you'll become. This can feel challenging at first, especially if you're shy or struggle with social interactions. Often, these feelings stem from a desire to avoid conflict or please others. To overcome this, start by speaking up in low-stakes situations, like debating a movie plot or a work project. This builds the skill of articulating your views without fear. When the moment matters, like in a conversation with someone you're interested in, you'll be better prepared to share your thoughts. Remember, being unsure or hesitant about your opinions can make you seem less confident. The goal isn't to be right all the time but to show that you think for yourself and aren't afraid to voice your ideas. Women generally do not find weak men appealing, especially not the type of women you would want to attract. This brings us to an important point, which is number 8 on our list. This particular issue is significant and ties back to the concept of self-esteem. Many men often feel that a woman they are interested in is out of their league. It's essential to understand that we typically form romantic relationships with individuals who are at a similar level to ourselves. However, women often prefer to date someone who is perceived to be at least at her level or slightly above it. This does not imply that you are objectively superior to her in any way, as the notion of being better is subjective. For the sake of this discussion, it's crucial that you do not project an attitude that suggests she is superior to you. To navigate this situation effectively, keep in mind that all women, regardless of how stunning they may appear, have their own insecurities. Even those who are exceptionally attractive often have aspects of their bodies, personalities, or other traits that they are not entirely comfortable with. It's a universal truth that nearly every woman you might be interested in will have some form of insecurity or flaw. While it's true that some women, like the famous Jennifer Lopez, may seem confident and flawless, the reality is that most women will have their own imperfections. It's important to recognize that women possess flaws, which can be physical, personality-related, mental, or even spiritual. We all have our shortcomings. You need to internalize this understanding, otherwise, it will manifest in your interactions with her. If you do not believe that you are worthy of her attention, she is unlikely to see you as worthy either, as this lack of confidence can be quite contagious. This brings to mind another humorous thought. Anyway, it's quite infectious. So, how should you approach this situation? The key is to enter every interaction with the understanding that she has her imperfections. By doing this, you avoid the mistake of placing her on a pedestal, which is one of the most detrimental things you can do at the start of any relationship. In a healthy partnership, both individuals should avoid elevating each other too highly, otherwise, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy and neediness. If you perceive yourself as not good enough, she is likely to adopt that same perspective. This is definitely not a good situation, definitely not ideal. Moving on to the next point, number 8, the challenge of not knowing what to say. It's essential to be able to engage in meaningful conversations. Recently, I created 3 additional videos where I shared 36 questions designed to foster intimacy, based on Arthur Aaron's well-known set of questions. These are excellent tools for keeping the dialogue flowing and for getting to know the person you're with on a deeper level. They provide valuable tips for maintaining a conversation. Moreover, it's important not to stress too much about moments of silence. A silence only feels awkward if you allow it to. In fact, sometimes, silence can be quite comfortable. Peaceful pauses can be just as valuable as active conversation. There's no need to constantly fill every moment with small talk or casual chatter. A great strategy for meaningful dialogue is to ask open-ended questions that invite deeper responses. For instance, instead of asking "Do you like pizza?" which only requires a yes or no answer, try "What type of pizza do you enjoy the most?" or "Where have you had the best pizza in the city?" These types of questions encourage thoughtful engagement rather than brief, superficial exchanges. Another critical aspect of effective communication is maintaining consistent eye contact. Women often find it discouraging when someone avoids eye contact most of the time, as it can signal insecurity, lack of confidence, or even disinterest. Aim to keep your gaze steady for about 80% of the conversation. It's natural to glance away briefly when you're thinking or processing information, but overall, sustained eye contact helps build trust and demonstrates attentiveness. Remember, everyone prefers someone who feels confident and engaged, not someone who seems distracted or uninterested.